Live from our studios at Northridge in Accra, good afternoon. Welcome to Newsbeat. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, here are stories making headlines this afternoon. CR executives of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology petitioned the University Council to reverse the decision to scrap the JCR system. After falling more than 30% this year, the city has begun to appreciate against the US dollar. We'll bring you details on that. And later on the international front, Nigeria's northeastern Borno state government launches ambitious school enrollment program for thousands of children displaced by the Boko Haram jihadist insurgency. Details are coming up shortly. Stay with us. We're also live on DSTV channel 277, live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana and on Twitter at Metro TV GH. Let's begin from here as the University Students Association of Ghana has kicked against the directive to abolish all junior common room systems following the Kunti-Katanga clash at KNUST. The leadership of the association warns university authorities to rescind their decision.
The Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, in a statement, banned the junior common room systems for all halls and indefinitely banned processions by students following the Kunti-Katanga clash that destroyed property and resulted in injuries to some students. The leadership of the University of Students Association of Ghana, in a press conference in Accra, described the decision as harsh.
The decision to abolish the JCR system is a decision that we strongly believe is too harsh and will not yield the expected result for which it is being implemented. For a father hoping to nurture the managerial skills of our students, we will be greatly depriving our students of these skills when we deprive them of the opportunity to lead in their JCRs. We further acknowledge that this decision taken allows for enough time for redemption and a review ahead of its proposed period of implementation.
According to the leadership of the association, the decision is unfair.
Does this posture of the university not defeat the purpose of its own existence when products of the university will have to endure prejudice due to decisions made on the account of the errors of a very negligible minority of the students? We will not act ignorant of the various actions that students have taken which has led to the current situation in which we find ourselves. Leadership of the association on a very short notice acknowledged their cooperation to engage student leaders even when the matter was raised within a short while.
The University of Students Association of Ghana also called on the management of NAST to rescind their decision.
Temporal reactive decisions such as the dissolution of the JCRs will not yield any solutions to this problem. This problem, as we all know, has now become an issue of national security threat. The university's approach of punishing all students for the shortcomings of a selected few has not and will not solve the problem at hand. More resolution should be channeled into punishing the real culprits of these vices on campus. Again, if this continues, we fear for the future of all graduates from KNUST in recent years, as the growing public sentiment and prejudice will curtail several life-changing opportunities and jobs for students.
The leadership, however, openly condemned the violence that ensued.
So I've been joined on phone by the University Relations Officer of KNUST, Dr. Norris Bazan, for a conversation on abolishing the JCR system. Doctor, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. I want to find out what influenced the decision to abolish the JCR system, and what happens when there are no JCRs in the various halls of the campus?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. You know, right from 2018, after that violent demonstration, which led to the destruction of properties, a fact-finding committee made recommendation that the university should stop affiliating students to the various halls. So from 2019 up to now, no student is affiliated to any of the halls of residence. Now, again, the halls of residence are reserved for only first years, and even that, only a fraction get opportunity to stay in the hall because it's not so much. The spaces are not so much. And so if you come to the university for first year, you stay in any of the halls, you stay there for one academic year, and then you move the second year to any of the hostels around. Such students don't pay hall dues, they don't pay any affiliation fee. And so why should somebody come from maybe Kote, from the Diakon, from Bomso, after 3 years and say that you want to come and contest for election to be a JCR president or executive for any of the halls? It doesn't make sense. The current arrangement where we've been allowing students to contest for that election is giving us huge problems. If you are to come to the university campus on weekends, almost every weekend, the whole university authorities are on tenterhooks. You have the police presence, the military presence sometimes. This is not good for academic environment.
Right.
So we want them to focus on the reason for which they came to university. You see, there are other leadership position roles are available. If you go to the university, the colleges, we have college presidents, we have faculty reps, we have course reps, we have even the churches, the church groups, they have leadership roles. Even the SRC is there. If anybody wants to take leadership role, all these opportunities are there. The few students who live in this JCR or let's say the halls of residence cannot take the whole university to ransom every time.
Dr. Bakwet, are you trying to say that continuing students who are staying at the various halls are staying there illegally?
Yes, so if there's any continuing student, what is happening now is this. We have some of the JCR executives who harbor these dismissed students, rusticated students, and other criminals in the various halls of residence. And they lead the charge and cause distraction to property because they have nothing to lose. Look, we have handed over a lot of these CCTV footages to the police to investigate, and then in some of the report that is coming out tells you that there are some alumni who are part of it. There are some rusticated students who are part of it. All these things, that is why the university council say, no, let's put a stop to it because we have been dancing around this dangerous snake every time, and it is time we cut off the head of the snake perpetually so that we have peace of mind on the university campus. This is what the university council is saying. And it is in the interest of the larger population. Only a few students get opportunity to stay in these halls, just less about 5%. And so we cannot allow the over 85,000 students who are in KNUSC to always be in danger. Right.
Now that you have taken this decision, what happens to the continuing students who continue to reside in the various halls?
No, nobody will continue to stay. You see, continuing students are not allowed to stay in the halls. The halls are reserved for only first years. So we have some continuing students who stay in those halls illegally because they have DJCR executives there and they stay with them.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, even if they have to be JCR executives, they have to be fresh students, correct?
If they have to be, they should be fresh students. And let me tell you something. When you go to the other halls on campus or hostels on campus, the Brunei, the Tech Credit, the SRC halls, they all don't have JCR executives, but they are running fine. And they don't engage in this kind of act of hooliganism every time.
Right. The student leadership are calling for the authorities of the school to rescind this decision. How do you respond to that?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen that. You are telling me for the first time. But I don't think that council is going to change its position on this matter.
Dr. Norris Bazan.
Council has taken a lot of time to evaluate many of such reports. and this issue keep running through.
Thank you very much for speaking to us this afternoon. Dr. Norris Bazan is the PRO at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Let's still stay in Kumasi because Oyerepa FM is finally back on air after the Kumasi Traditional Council has lifted the ban imposed on the private radio station until it showed remorse for providing its platform for verbal attacks against traditional authority. After an intervention by a joint team of prominent traditional rulers, the clergy and the leadership of the Ghana Journalists Association, the traditional rulers rescinded their decision. In a statement, management of the station informed its listeners that they will commence operations on Wednesday, August 31st. My colleague Abdul Basset Suleiman has joined me via Zoom for more on this. Abdul Basset, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon.
Yeah, Ken. Good afternoon. Can you hear me, Ken?
Right. You were at the meeting where this decision was taken. I believe you've been to the Doom-based station today, and when you went there, what did you see?
Yes, Ken, I'm currently at the Oyerepa FM, a private radio station here in Kumasi, after they resolved their impasse with the Kumasi Traditional Council yesterday. I'm here this morning to find out because they've been given the green light to start operation. I'm here this afternoon to find out how how either they started operation or not. When I got here, I realized all the staffs are around, the radio is on, the management, everyone is all around doing their normal business. Even though they will start, according to the management, they will start the actual program, their normal program, God willing, tomorrow. But currently, as I speak with you now, there's going to be management, there's going to be a staff there to run up the way forward for the station. According to the general manager of the station, Otu Echampong, he said they're putting in measures to ensure that set of currencies will not fail in terms of selection of panels and the utterances that they will be using on the air. They will ensure that sanity will prevail, particularly in regards to matters of chieftaincy or our revered chiefs in the region. So as I speak with you right now, within a few minutes, they will start the endeavor for the staff of the station.
Right. Abdul Basset, one striking thing that came out of that meeting was Menchia saying that they did not technically tell Oyerepa FM to shut down. Tell us a bit more about that.
Can come again? I hardly hear you.
Yes. Yesterday at the meeting, Menchia stated that they did not order the shutdown of Oyerepa FM. Tell us a bit more about that because it seems confusing, doesn't it?
Are you talking about yesterday's meeting?
Yes.
You know, when the UPP presidential candidate made that utterance on the radio, it wasn't all that good for the Menchia Palace, particularly with the chiefs at the Kumasi Traditional Council. So yesterday, when they invited the management of the station, they did not go there alone. They went with some dignitaries to go and apologize on their behalf, particularly the immediate past chairman of the Peace Council, who together with other elders of the Methodist Church went to the Menchia Palace to intercede on behalf of the station. And lo and behold, the Traditional Council also heard the plea and granted an amnesty. And I asked them not to say anymore. Because within our country, we hear our chiefs say too much that
Right. Abdul Basset Suleiman, thank you very much for speaking to us. He's a man on the ground bringing us up to speed with events happening in the Ashanti region. Thank you very much for speaking to us once again. Remember, you can also join the program on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana and also on Twitter at Metro TVGH. Earlier, we spoke to the general manager of Oiripa FM, Sam Timer, Utu Echampon. Take a listen.
Looked at our state, we're so grateful to the men for the clergy who led us. I mean, our apology was accepted because of their presence, and we are so grateful to them, from Professor Emmanuel Asante and all of them. Again, we are happy to be back because our listeners missed us. We are also excited to be back because our businesses can go on. So it's a very happy day. You can see everybody is in a joyous mood here. New, I mean, we have operated for 4 years. I mean, we've always observed the ethics of our profession. This was what I call just a slip or something we could have done better about. So no new measures are set, but we are taking the advice. We keep educating ourselves so that we improve on what we are doing. Obviously, once you are not on air, it means that businesses, you are losing revenue. Of course, you are not feeding your public with what they are supposed to know. So that was an issue. These are the issues we lost. But like I did indicate, it's good that we are back on air. It's good that businesses as usual is going on. It's good that our programs are running. It's good that we were able to feed our listeners and the general public with what we have always been giving them. That has made them love us all these years.
Right, so that was Sam Timer Otuo Echampon, who is the general manager of Oiripa FM. Let's come back to the capital, because the removal of the commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Colonel retired Kojo Damwa, has been greeted with a lot of reactions. While some believe the move would help investigations of the Office of the Special Prosecutor in the La Bianca saga, others think the timing is wrong. One of such persons is anti-corruption crusader Titus Azim, who says asking Colonel Damwa to step aside for further probe to be conducted would have been a better option. Right, and I've been joined by the man himself, Titus Azim, on the telephone line to tell us more. Mr. Azim, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Kindly explain your stance on this issue.
Well, what I'm saying is, if the man is at post, or at least he's been asked to step aside, when he needs information from the house, the office, when he needs certain documents, he can talk. It's easy to get them. But if you sack him, he may even refuse to cooperate with the investigation. You said, I'm no longer at post, I don't have access to any information, I cannot appear before the investigative body.
Right.
And we have always campaigned for asking the person to step aside, like proceed on leave pending the outcome of the investigations, but not to just fully sack him when you have not even investigated the matter and found him guilty. But of course, we also are aware that the letter from the presidency does not link him to the La Bianca case. Right. But then it also exposes the government on another issue. If this person was supposed to proceed, if this appointment ended in October 2021, why is he still at post and being paid and taking decisions for the government?
Right. Some have said that this sacking is an attempt by government to shield him from the La Bianca investigation. Do you agree with that?
It is possible. Like I said, he said, I am no longer at post, so I don't have access to the information that you are asking for. That's one. Maybe to shield him as an individual. But it's also possible that it's also aimed at shielding other people that might come up in the investigation. Okay. Especially when you're talking about investigations at the ports and harbors. Knowing the way seized cars are distributed at the ports and harbors, you know that it's political. And so the information that the special prosecutor is asking for is likely to expose several people. And so there might be an attempt to try to cover up for some of these people, because some of them may be in very key positions, who should not be going for cheap cars, seized cars, for no good reason. they can afford expensive cars. Why do you seize a poor boy's car from the harbor because he cannot pay duty and sell it to somebody who can buy a V8 with his own resources? So when that information comes, it's going to be embarrassing to several people. Right. So that is also another reason why they may want to move them from that position while the investigations are going on.
Right. Mr. Azim, we are picking indication that CSOs are planning to picket at the office of the Auditor General's Department. How would you rate the performance of the Auditor General?
In rating the office of the Auditor General, the problem is that he hasn't got those powers to proceed with his findings. For example, to prosecute. He has been asked, and now the courts have said that he can surcharge. But again, because most of the institutions in this country are political, we don't see him actually carrying out that surcharge. And you can think about the situation, the plight of the former one, Mr. Daniel Domolovo, when he tried to do some of these things, the frustrations that he got, and he was finally pushed out. So that sort of tries to make people a bit scared about doing this, especially when you are in an acting position.
Right. Is that to say that people do not clearly understand the role of the Auditor General?
People understand, but I'm saying that he doesn't have that type of independence that the law provides for him. Because when you're in an acting position, you feel like you can be removed any day. And even when you're in a permanent position, you feel obliged to the person who has given you the appointment because you did not go through a transparent and a meritorious approach for the recruitment.
Right.
So you tend to look at the back to see, I don't want to do anything that will displease the people behind me.
That means he's not getting the full concentration to work.
Possibly so.
Mr. Titus Azim, thank you very much for speaking to us this afternoon. This is Newsbeat on Metro Television. We return from the break with more. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Truck drivers belonging to the Tipper Trucks Association in the Central Region have declared a strike with immediate action over worsening economic conditions. The action, according to the association, is as a result of customers' failure to pay new service charges announced earlier.
The Tipper truck drivers say consistent increments in the prices of spare parts, fuel, among other issues, are impacting negatively on their business. Barely a month ago, the association announced that they were increasing their service charge. However, members say most customers have been reluctant in paying the new charges, prompting the strike. Kadir Inusa is national chairman of the association. According to him, the strike is expected to last for a week, but will be extended should they fail to achieve their intended purpose. Meanwhile, he announced that the period will be used to ensure that drivers take their vehicle to a mandatory servicing, as well as organizing a workshop to school members on defensive driving.
We came out and spoke to our customers about the prices that we are selling to them. But up to date, they don't afford the price that we want. So we decided to go to workshop so that we can maintain our prices. Bitterly, we are facing challenges about our customers and our car owners. See, due to our sales, these days we can't afford the sales.
Some executive members of the association also spoke to Metro News.
It's national, so we decide to do everything equally. That is why we are telling our drivers, our union members, national union, central regional tipper drivers association, all of us to go to workshop and maintenance to maintain our prices well and to serve our customers too well.
Now, the Concerned Residents Association of Awoshi, who had their houses demolished in 2006 to pave way for the construction of the Awoshi-Pokuase Highway, have lamented over the constant delays by successive governments to compensate them for their losses. The chairman of the association, speaking at a press briefing, says they are giving the government a 14-day ultimatum, otherwise they will hit the streets.
We, the Concerned Residents Association of Awoshipokwasi, called you this morning to register our displeasure over the government's refusal to pay our compensation to us. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, I crave your indulgence to give you a comprehensive background of how we came to this point. It will be recalled that the government of Ghana, through Executive Instrument 2006 EI-19, acquired our lands from us for the construction of the Awoshipokwasi Highway during former President John Agyekum Kufuor's regime in the year 2006. Affected residents whose houses were demolished right here in the year 2010 under the regime of the late President J.E.A. Mills to pave way for the construction of the road are yet to receive their compensation from government for their lands. In our efforts as the Concerned Residents Association of Awoshipokwasi to get our compensations paid by the government, we petitioned the Lands Commission and the Highways Ministry. The Lands Commission heeded to our cry and conducted the evaluation process through the Land Valuation Department, after which offer letters were given to us in the year 2020. We are being frustrated anytime we make follow-up checks at the Ministry of Finance, and on a daily basis, the situation is getting worse. It is very sad to note that the delay in the payment of our compensation has brought untold hardship on the generality of our members, resulting in the untimely death of about 35 of them, whilst others have been rendered homeless and some bedridden for many years. Ladies and gentlemen, the Concerned Residents Association of Awoshipokwasi wishes to call on the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to intervene in ensuring that our compensations are paid without any further delay.
Let's take you to the northern part of the country, as one person has been injured after unknown assailants attacked residents of Jingande, a suburb of Boko in the Upper West region. Now, the incident, which occurred near a hospital close by, has left residents in fear. According to our correspondent in the town, the perpetrators pretended to be unwell and were headed to the hospital for medical attention. They then started firing indiscriminately. Residents in the area, upon hearing the gunshots, attempted to flee the scene, but one person got injured in the process. The incident occurred at 7:40 p.m. on Monday. Let's get onto the phone lines and speak to our resident correspondent in the area for more on this. Thank you very much for joining me, Halilu Dasmani.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Right. So what else are you picking from this story?
Thank you, Kenneth. Yesterday, of about 7:40 p.m., a group of assailants was in a pickup car attacked some people in an area called Gingande, a suburb of Boko, near a private hospital called Everjoy. According to a source, the perpetrators pretended to have been going to the hospital for medical treatment and took the people over there by surprise and fired gunshots in that particular area, leading to one person injured, who is now currently responding to treatment at the hospital. According to our source, no arrest has been made as we speak now, Kenneth.
Right. We know that Boko is under curfew. Was that during curfew hours when the incident happened?
No, Kenneth. The curfew hours start from 8 p.m. and so it was a few minutes before curfew hours.
Right. And have they been identified?
As we speak, no one has been identified yet.
Okay. Halidu Dasmani, thank you very much for speaking to me this afternoon. So watching Newsbeat here on Metro Television. We'll be back after this. In business today, the value of the cedi has begun strengthening against the US dollar following its consequent and consecutive sharp depreciation against the American currency for almost 6 weeks. Checks from forex bureaus have revealed the trend.
The Metro TV business team visited some forex bureau earlier on Tuesday morning. It was revealed that the cedi is currently selling at 10 Ghana cedis as against the previous week, which was selling as 10 cedis 15 pesos. The bureau attendant around the Roman Bridge enclave, who declined to speak on camera, revealed that the drop of the dollar has compelled a lot more people to sell their dollars as compared to the previous weeks when it was difficult getting dollars to buy. This is as a result of the $750 million Afro-Exim Bank loan that came in last week and the action by the Bank of Ghana to close down licensed forex bureau flouting foreign exchange laws. Officials of the central bank had embarked on some field exercises to check the state of compliance with some forex bureaus in the metropolis, believing that actions by some operators have been contributing to speculations in the foreign exchange market, hence affecting the stability of the cedi. Also, the 750 Afro-Exim Bank loan has come in to boost supply of dollars, which has reduced drastically the demand for the American currency. Supported by the cocoa syndicated loan, which the first tranche may come in October 2022, that could help further strengthen the local currency against the US dollar, despite the huge imports by traders during the last quarter of the year.
Right, so now that the cedi has made some gains against the US dollar, let's see how it is performing against other major trading currencies. Right, so the US dollar is currently being bought for 9 cedis 50 pesos and it's selling for 10 Ghana cedis. The British pound sterling is being bought for 11 cedis 30 pesos and is now selling for 12 Ghana cedis. The euro is being bought for 9 cedis 50 pesos and is selling for 10 cedis 15 pesos. You see the francs, the Swiss francs, the CFA francs, the Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar, the South African rand, the Nigerian naira, the Chinese yuan, and so on. So this is how the Ghana cedi is performing against other major trading currencies. This is figures coming from the Bank of Ghana. So the Bank of Ghana is buying the US dollar at 8 cedis 2224 pesos and selling it at 8 cedis 2306 pesos. The Bank of Ghana is again buying the pound sterling for 9 cedis 6235 pesos and selling it at 9 cedis 6339 pesos. The euro is being bought by the Bank of Ghana for 8 cedis 2119 pesos and being sold by the central bank for 8 cedis 2201 pesos. So these are the figures from the Bank of Ghana, and the first one we showed you were the figures from the forex bureaus. Right, let's go on to Zoom and speak to economist Daniel Enim on the strengthening of the Ghana cedi against major trading currencies. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon, Mr. Enim. Is that a sign of better days to come for the local currency?
It depends. It's a yes and no question. If you recall, it was as a result of the expected inflow, 750 million Afro-Exim Bank facility that have triggered to the fairly quite a certain degree of appreciation of the cedi. In the forex market, it's about speculation is very key. Once people who are holding on to the forex or the dollar, so to speak, realize that government is about to inject more into the system, they will release it so that they don't end up losing the value of that particular asset they are holding, that's the dollar. So it was because the announcement was made. I trust that indeed we have received the $750 million. Why am I saying so? What I know is that mostly when such facilities does not come in bulk, it comes in tranches. Maybe a certain percentage of it will come followed by another percentage in another month or 2 or 3 before at the end of the day we'll have such a total. If indeed this BOG is having the $750 million, then what it means is that it will now beef up our reserves, and BOG will be in a better position to release more forests into the market. And on that score, that's the reason which we're having this kind of appreciation. What happened is that the market watchers or the players in the market, if they realize that indeed government is just playing a speculative kind of mechanism or approach to ensuring that they release the dollar, they quickly recollect the money from the system. I think secondly, what BOG is also doing in terms of ensuring that prices are not done in dollars and ensuring that the forest growth applies strictly to their rules and regulations. I think coupled with that, we should expect some appreciation, but not significant though, but as indicated. That depends on whether indeed the $750 million is actually sitting in the BOG's account as we speak now. If it is something that is coming in tranches, then it may not serve that full purpose. And it may just be mere speculation. And once the market watchers have realized that indeed BOG is not having that much to be able to inject into the system, they revert to their own system by making sure that they hoard the dollars for that purpose. So to me, I think more ought to be done in terms of making sure that we have more inflows into the economy to ensure that it minimizes or it mitigates the kind of impact that we have in respect of the forest, so that going forward, the city will appreciate in a manner that will ensure a fair stability in terms of value.
Daniel, there seemed to be huge disparity between the figures of the Bank of Ghana and that of the Forex bureaus. Why is that the case?
Yeah, mostly in the market, what happens is a little bit different from what BOG normally would. BOG, because for instance, in the market, it's about demand and supply, right? So once the demand exceeds the supply, the actors in the market, take advantage to increase the price, right? So as much as the Bank of Ghana may have a very, let's say, comparative, a better rate, of course, if you go to the market, which is the reality, so if you are measuring the performance and the value of the city, to me, it ought to be down from what happens in the market, the reality on the ground, rather than what BOG will put at its website. So to answer you, it is basically because of demand and supply. More people are looking for dollars, and we do not have much. So the actors in the market take advantage to increase the price, and it's as basic as that.
Injecting the US dollar into the Ghanaian economy to boost the Ghana city, how sustainable is that?
Please come again, I didn't get the question right.
Yes, we are injecting more US dollar into the Ghanaian economy to boost the Ghana city. How sustainable is that?
It's not sustainable when we have a history or we have the data to suggest. This is just a temporary measure, and that's the reason which I have indicated, that the medium to long-term perspective is ensuring that you have more inflows coming to the economy and you minimize importation of certain goods that you have a competitive urge to produce locally. So once you are producing goods that you have a competitive rice, for example, you can produce rice, so you will produce more of a local rice than people importing foreign rice into the market. If you have a competitive urge of producing poultry-related products, you do more and you minimize the import. So if you do that, there'll be less demand for the dollar. And more importantly, as we are heading towards the festive season, the Christmas season, we should expect supply exceeding demand. And that's the reason which I can conclude that it's not a sustainable measure to do, but it's just a temporary measure just to mitigate and minimize the further depreciation of the city, but it is not sustainable measure.
Daniel Anim, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Now, the National Petroleum Authority on Monday shut down the Shell fuel station at Adome Bridge at Atimpoku in the eastern region for allegedly selling water-laced petroleum products to customers. This follows a widely circulated video on social media and several complaints from the public. The NPA said its team undertook a water content presence test, and a dip into the well of the outlet indicated the presence of water. The NPA, in a statement, said the management of Vivo Energy, in a letter addressed to the authority, suggested that water entered the underground super tank after heavy rain in the area.
corroborated by the investigative team.
Let's try to understand this. And joining me via Zoom is the head of research for Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, Benjamin Insia. Ben Insia, thank you very much for your time. What should the standard practice of fuel stations across the country be before they begin to sell?
Okay, so the standard practice is that periodically they need to do some checks on the infrastructure of these retail outlets before they sell. However, what we've observed in the last 2 months is that somewhere last 2 months, there was an incident at Abeka Junction by one particular OMC that also engaged in this particular incident. And today we've also heard of one at Adome area. It means that OMCs have not been conducting these periodic checks, especially the underground tanks, to ascertain the reliability of these underground tanks to serve products to the petroleum consumer.
Right. I want to understand how we are able to ensure all these fuel outlets across the country go through these processes to ensure that they sell the right fuel to customers.
For quality of product and quantity of product, periodically the MPA goes to these stations to make sure that they don't sell adulterated products to us. What we observed is that this recent incident has to do with a challenge with respect to an underground tanks that ought to have been managed and maintained earlier. We think that going forward, MPA should insist on OMCs and their retail outlets to conduct certain assessment or impact assessment of all underground tanks that are more than 15 years to make sure that this particular challenge doesn't occur again.
Right. How dangerous is it to sell adulterated fuel to customers?
Those who sell adulterated products to customers are sanctioned by MPA. And I think in 2019-2020, the MPA sanctioned about 5 OMCs who were engaged in this particular practice. So this particular practice that occurred at Adome is not an intention, it's not adulteration. It just has to do with an underground tank that was leaking, and for that matter, water was able to get into it. This is not intentional. And that is why we are insisting on MPA to make sure that most of these OMCs and then their retail outlets assess their underground tanks, especially underground tanks that have been there for more than 15 years. We need to assess them and then make sure that they are in good standing to serve the petroleum product, petroleum consumer.
Okay, pleasure having you joining me this afternoon. Thank you very much. This is Newsbeat on Metro Television. After the break, Phil John Corte will be here with the latest in sports. Stay tuned.
It's 48 past midday, the Ghanaian capital of Accra. My name is Phil John Corte, and it's time for your sports. The 2022 GACA Top 4 football tournament ended at the Accra Sports Stadium yesterday with Great Olympics winning the title ahead of Bichim United. Let's get the reaction from the coaches first. Yapreko.
Very important. A cup is a cup. But better still, we are in pre-season. And I saw positives and negatives. We've played them. This is the third time we've played them. We played them friendly in the Jingano. Draw. We played them here. Draw. And the third game, we show different character. So I can say we are getting there.
I think it was a good game. This G6 have really helped us. We are in a pre-season, and I just started training 1 week with them, and I think things are going on well. The game was very good. Bicham have a solid team, as you can see, but we were able to beat them 2-0 to win the cup. So it's a good game for us, and we are still in pre-season, and we hope we will be ready before the league starts.
Assess our strength for the commencement of the league, and it has helped us a lot to identify some loopholes in the team. So we're going to work on it before the commencement of the league.
Are you disappointed not to be champions?
Not at all. It's a pre-season friendly match. What Liverpool, Manchester beat them for. It's nothing. It's pre-season friendly. We took it as a pre-season friendly match. And we have a league match with them next week. So that's what matters most.
Well, that's your Midday Sports. My name is Phil John Quartin, and I am standing by for the latest in showbiz.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Entertainment news is next. My name is Nanaya Tanobuachi. Now, there has been a never-ending debate on whether gospel musicians perform or minister, as some believe because of the leading of the Holy Spirit, it is administration. Others think otherwise. Some gospel artists have been sharing their thoughts on the issue.
The conversation on the issue of whether gospel artists perform or minister has seen different artists share diverse views, and on Metro TV's entertainment review program, it was no exception. Gospel singer, minister Benny insisted that for the work they do as gospel singers, it is not of themselves, hence why she believes it is a ministration and not a mere performance. Her view was seconded by Who Say God No Day singer Kofi Kakari.
Before a gospel artist goes and does a concert, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes spiritually.
Yeah.
I am 100% sure nobody will just up and say, I'm doing a concert. You go before the Lord and actually seek the face of God, because your main focus is to draw souls to God. That is why we call it a ministry, our job. It's our calling that we are to do. So they don't perform, and I think that is the place we have to really bring clarity. Yeah. We are not performing. Yeah. We are doing what we are led by the Spirit of God.
You see, the thing is this, that you see, performance appeals to the senses. Nothing happens to your spirit.
Yes, but the music,
you see,
the music
I know where
you
you're
do,
coming from. It's semantics. It's just English. You know, someone will say perform, but the thing is this, that we don't perform because we are doing a spiritual work. What God is doing through us is something happening in your spirit, man, that affects your flesh.
On the other hand, Crazy Love singer Akese Brimpon said the word ministration is being over-spiritualized by his colleagues because there is still a performance through which they minister to the audience.
This is what I feel. I feel it's an issue of semantics. Whether you are, of course, we know that it's a spiritual thing, but it comes through the performance of music.
Okay.
It comes through the performance of music. So the whole idea of we are not it's performing arts. What we do is performing arts. Oratory, preaching is performing arts. There is the art of preaching. It's an art, and you need to learn it. I'm sure you know about stage charisma and all of those things. It is all of that put together that ministers to somebody. So the whole idea of I am a minister and not a performer is an issue of semantics and nothing spiritual at all.
The debate will certainly continue as to whether it's a performance or a ministration.
That's all on entertainment news. My name is Nanaya Tanobuachi. Ken, over to you.
Thank you very much, Nanaya. International news is next.
Nigeria's Northeast Borno State government has launched an ambitious school enrollment program for thousands of children displaced by the Boko Haram jihadist insurgency. In the Mongono town, victims of the conflict have been staying in camps after being displaced from their communities. Some 7,000 children were registered to primary and junior secondary schools in the first phase of the program on Sunday and Monday. The project is targeting more than 20,000 children across the state. After more than 4 years, the first foreign-made car are expected to be imported into Iran within months with hopes that the move can help a chaotic market tormented by monopolies and affordability issues. Last week, President Ibrahim Raisi's cabinet finally approved a bylaw for importing foreign-made road vehicles more than 4 months after his administration had initially greenlit the imports. At least 1,136 people have been killed since June, and roads, crops, homes and bridges washed away across Pakistan. The UN Secretary General has warned that the country is facing a monsoon on steroids after floods submerged a third of the country. Antonio Guterres urged the world to come to Pakistan's aid as he launched for a 160 million appeal to help the tens of millions affected in the disaster.
My name is Kenneth Jesse. On behalf of the entire team led by Eugenia Akofa Kumi Williams, thanks for watching. Bye for now.